colour balance is going all over the shop. Oh, no, it seems to have rectified itself. What little I can see, with my fading eyesight.
Well, you should be able to see yourself. You're bright red.
I can see red, and I can see eyebrows, and a few facial features. You can see your teeth. You can always see your teeth.
Your shirt matches your forehead today. Is that like a colour combo?
Yeah, it's me working on my colour scheme. So we were going to talk about quirks and foibles. What is the word? Foibles.
What foibles?
Your nocturnal foibles.
What are you talking about?
Well, when you go to bed at night.
What are you talking about?
When you go to bed at night.
Yes.
And we go to sleep.
Yes.
And then I might be inclined to leave my phone on or forget to turn my phone off. And then I'll get a text or some kind of notification at some point in the middle of the night, probably more likely the early morning. And you'll be like,
I don't do that.
What's that? What's that? Did you leave your phone on again?
Like, Angus, you left your phone on.
Yes. And it's quite upsetting to you.
I don't like it.
You don't like it, but you get quite upset. Dare I say, maybe angry. There is definitely an energetic of temper coming on.
I don't like being woken out of my sleep that way.
No, but so what's interesting about that is that there can be any other manner of noises, some of them quite extremely loud, I'd say, and you won't even stir. Like, for argument's sake, I'm thinking of that time years ago when we were living in West Hollywood. We lived in an apartment and a tree came down in the middle of the night. And not only the sound of that tree hitting the tarmac outside our bedroom window, where there was an extremely loud earth-shattering thump, but it also hit the wires that were attached to the stucco, which is also outside our bedroom window, and ripped that off the wall. So not only did we get the thump on the tarmac, which is pretty much like an F-111 crashing down in the yard, but we also got the whole building shaking because the cables had been ripped from the stucco. And so I sit bolt upright. What the hell was that? And your response is, why are you waking me up? Why are you waking me up in the middle of the night? And yet, with all that noise, an unprecedented amount of noise, like it was almost like being in a war zone. You can sleep through that, and then a little notification signal, a little ding, and you're like...
Wakes me up.
It's extraordinary.
But I'm sensitive to them because I don't even have them on in the daytime. I don't have any notifications on my phone. It doesn't ding when I get a text or an email or anything. And most of the time the ringer is not even on.
So how do you know what's going on?
I check my phone.
Constantly checking your phone?
Not constantly, but I check it when I think it's appropriate to check it.
Do you have a vibrator on? Do you have vibrate on?
No. No, but with this Fitbit watch that I got for Mother's Day, it does buzz when I get a call or when I get a text.
That must be concerning to you.
It is a little concerning to me. I think I might be able to turn it off. I just haven't figured out how to do it yet.
Well, so yeah, then I guess also when I'm thinking about this now, reflecting upon this situation, is I remember when you years ago when you were working with a particular treatment center or company, and you had a sort of crisis hotline which was running 24/7. So you might have a bit of PTSD around that.
Maybe.
I'm sort of thinking going on there.
Yes, I like to have all of them. Yeah, it's probably true. After that, my phone is off. I don't ever...
Right, so you don't really... So it's more to do with the fact that I think probably what wakes you up ultimately is that you might, like, for argument's sake, there are probably things that do wake you up. Maybe the F-111 coming down in the yard, you can sleep through because you don't really have any extraneous thinking around it. I think most people would, but maybe in your case you didn't. What I'm trying to say is that when you hear the beep you have extraneous thinking. There's historical patterns of thinking around that, and the wheels and cogs get engaged, and you automatically get on that bandwagon, and that's probably what wakes you up, and that's where the irritability may come in too.
Well, I think you're right. I think that I kind of trained myself to notice when my phone was making a noise, to be ready for it to make a noise in that crisis time. And so now there's that, and then I remember that we have an agreement that we turn our phones off at night, and that you've forgotten. So then I start getting annoyed with you because you've forgotten.
So it's more the thinking that's in play rather than the actual stimulus.
Yes.
Audio stimulus.
Yeah.
It's like me with next door's dog. They have like some sort of mutant Chihuahua mix.
Not a very nice way to talk about their dog.
I know,
There's
it's
a lot
not.
of Chihuahua mixes out there.
Okay, well, this is a mutant Chihuahua mix.
Why?
I don't know. I've decided. And so this dog, they have a cat door, and then I guess what I say mutant Chihuahua mix. That just shows the level of judgment that's in play for me around this particular animal, because the people next door are good neighbors. They have a cat door, and they will, or they used to. They don't do it so much anymore because I think people have complained, but they would go away for the weekend and let the dog come and go at its pleasure, and it is inclined to bark at the slightest sound. And on one particular occasion, and another occasion where you just slept through the whole thing, which was again extraordinary, a raccoon got into the yard, and it seemed like two velociraptors going at it for at least 10 minutes. And I leapt out of bed, ran out into the garden to be greeted by the biggest raccoon I ever seen jump on the fence, looking me eye to eye. And so I think, and what's interesting about this is that now whenever I hear that dog bark at night, or not now actually, but when I used to hear that dog bark at night, I would immediately wake up, but I would immediately wake up and I would just get straight into judgment. I get straight into judgment around these people being so selfish and insensitive. And I think I probably could have quite happily sleep. And I proved to myself I can actually ignore the dog now. I can actually sleep through. Not as much. I might get woken up, but I'll go back to sleep. But in the past, I would like get woken up, and then I'd my mind would get straight into judgment, and next to no time I'd be fretting and complaining in my head and imagining what I was going to do, imagining what I was going to say, and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
And I could keep me awake for an hour or two,
it's hard to
just
get
doing
back
that
to
alone.
sleep.
So it's just interesting to see how my thinking it became very Pavlovian. As soon as I heard that dog, it was like, oh my God, they're being so disrespectful.
So I can try that out when I get woken up with your phone, not getting into judgment over you.
Yeah, no, I guess
go back to sleep.
Yeah, but it's good to know that, and I definitely have experimented, or not experimented, but I'm now aware that I'll hear the dog at night, and I'm like, oh well, I don't need to engage. I can leave that alone.
Yeah.
I think that's what's so interesting about this understanding, is becoming better equipped to leave the thinking that's basically leads to suffering, that I know leads to suffering, and just leaving it alone.
And then seeing that it just disappears when you leave it alone.
It does. That's good, isn't it?
You're a little crazed tonight.
I am.
I think the sun's got to you.
It has got a bit of sunstroke today.
Well, have a great weekend, everybody.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.